They thought I didn't hear her. "She's basically our maid," my stepsister muttered, loud enough for her friends to laugh, but quiet enough to pretend it was a joke. I stood in the kitchen doorway, a sponge still dripping in my hand, my jaw locked so tightly I thought my teeth might crack. She didn't know the eviction notice was already on its way. She didn't know the papers in my drawer carried their fate sealed in black ink. She didn't know that the girl scrubbing their dishes and folding their laundry was the one holding the deed to the very house they mocked me in. But I knew, and I waited. When my mother remarried, I wanted to believe her promises. This will be good for us, a family again, stability. But stability came with conditions. My new stepfather was charming in public, cruel in private. His daughter, my stepsister, learned early to mirror his smirks, his condescension, his quiet digs at me. At first I ignored it. I was the outsider. I thought if I worked hard enough, stayed useful, they'd let me belong. Instead, I became their servant. Dinner dishes? Mine. Laundry? Mine. Grocery runs? Mine. When friends visited, I was the girl carrying trays, invisible until I became the punchline. And every time my mother turned her face away, I understood. Blood meant nothing when comfort was at stake. The turning point wasn't their words. It was what I found in my mother's drawer. One afternoon, while searching for a receipt, I saw the paperwork, legal documents showing she and her husband were drowning in debt. Mortgages stacked on mortgages, overdue notices hidden under junk mail. The house wasn't theirs, not really. It was a sinking ship they were desperately trying to keep afloat. And that's when I understood. They needed me more than I ever needed them. My job, my savings, the inheritance my father left me, they'd quietly leaned on it for years. They dressed it up as family support, but it was dependence disguised as love. I didn't yell, I didn't confront. That would have given them power. Instead, I played along. I kept scrubbing, folding, smiling. I let them believe I was beneath them, even as I spoke with lawyers, even as I bought their mortgage debt in silence. Step by step, I positioned myself where they least expected, above them. I became their creditor, their landlord, the silent owner of every brick and nail in the home where they sneered at me. It wasn't difficult. Desperation blinds people. I paid off the debt collectors they feared. I signed the papers under a trust they'd never trace to me. Every month, when they handed checks to the bank, they were paying me. I waited, patient, controlled, watching their arrogance grow with every payment they unknowingly funneled into my account. And then, when the balance tipped in my favor, I made the call. Eviction notice, effective immediately. The day it arrived, my stepsister was sprawled on the couch, scrolling her phone. My mother was sipping coffee. My stepfather was complaining about the electricity bill. Then, the knock at the door. I stayed in the kitchen, silent, as my stepfather tore open the envelope. His face went white. My mother's cup clattered against the saucer. My stepsister frowned, confused. "Evicted?" my mother whispered. "But this is our home." That's when I walked in, slow, deliberate. I took the notice from his hand, read it like it was nothing more than a grocery list, then set it down on the table. "Who owns this place?" my mother asked finally, her voice cracking with disbelief. I met her eyes. For the first time in years, she couldn't look away. "I do." Silence. My stepsister's mouth opened, then closed. My stepfather tried to bluster, to demand, to bark about rights. But every paper, every signature, every detail was ironclad. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't gloat. I simply gave them a deadline. 2 weeks. Out. They begged. Not with tears at first, but with manipulation. "We're family. You wouldn't put us on the street. Think of your mother." But I remembered every plate I scrubbed while they laughed. Every insult disguised as a joke. every time my mother chose silence over me. I thought of the girl I used to be, the one who believed love had to be earned with servitude. That girl was gone. So I handed them their boxes, watched as they packed, watched the smirks vanish, replaced by silence heavy enough to choke them. And when the last door shut behind them, I walked through the house alone. My house. No more pretending. No more scrubbing to earn a place. I owned the walls they once mocked me in. I owned the silence they left behind. And for the first time in years, I felt clean. Final reflection. Revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quietest thing in the world, the sound of keys turning in a lock that only you control. They called me their maid, but in the end, I was their master.